And we are live.
Good afternoon. I am so happy that you have chosen to spend your afternoon with us. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea or something that you can just relax and enjoy this interview. You have chosen to spend your afternoon with us. Hopefully you've got a cup of tea or something that you can just relax and enjoy. I want to introduce a few people. And first of all, I want to introduce Heather. I'm getting feedback or something.
We're getting some feedback. If you want to,
first of all, I want to introduce Heather. I'm getting feedback.
Something. We're getting some feedback. If you want to,
we're going to fix this, and we're going to be right back with you. We are staying, and hopefully everybody's here, and we are so pleased to introduce you to our Visions and Perspective series. This is our first one, and as you see, I'm going to show you a little slide on the screen that has the others that will be coming up. Are we showing those now, Heather? Those the pictures? So this today is an afternoon with Adelaide, and we're going to get right into that in just a minute, talking about the power of music. And then in April, we just found out the date will be April 14th, and it'll be 11:30 a.m. Right into that. It's going to be a lunch with Leah. And then the last one we're going to do in this series, for now, we may do these later if they seem to work and you enjoy them. And so we would be having Whitney Brock, who is an artist. And that would be May 11th at 6:30 p.m. So thank you for joining us. And we are going to... I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Karen DeBoard. I'm the president of the Smith Mountain Arts Council. I'm your host today. And I want to particularly thank the Lifestyle and Lake Group. We are working with them. They are our techno wizards, really. Heather and Margaret are pictured here in one of the frames. And Margaret Cray and her team are residents of the lake with an experienced local perspective. They can work with you to find the property that best accents your lifestyle, or if you're selling, they can expertly craft a marketing plan to connect you to a buyer. So we appreciate their support and actually so appreciate their technology and help today. So what we're going to do is talk with Adelaide Trombetta. I understand that on the Facebook feed and on the YouTube feed, there is a little scrolling, and so Trombetta may come out, trumpet or anything else. So we are seeing Adelaide, and we're going to talk to her in just a second. She is a graduate of the Yale, the very prestigious opera program. She made her debut in the Metropolitan Opera on the stage at the age of 21. And she was a national finalist in the renowned Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions. And since then, being a soprano, Adelaide Trombetta has rapidly gained recognition as a world-class singer and a compelling stage performer, enjoying leading concert and stage engagements throughout the United States and Europe. And so I first met Adelaide in 2018. She was here working with the Smith Mountain Arts Council and David Stewart Wiley giving a holiday concert. And those are some snapshots I took of her with my little trusty iPhone that night. And so we will get right into talking with Adelaide. So welcome, first of all.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting and such a pleasure to be here.
Well, I've got a whole list of questions. People want to know, you know, behind the scenes of a famous opera star like you are. We want to know a little bit about how you got started with your singing. I understand that we are lucky enough to have you in the Lynchburg area right now, and so you are local in many ways. And so tell us a little bit about how you started singing and thinking maybe there was something there.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a musical family. I have 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister, and my parents were both piano performance majors. So we grew up hearing piano, organ, church choir, and also my mom taught piano out of the home. Yeah, my dad, like I said, was really into barbershop, so we grew up hearing all kinds of music in the home, so that was really great. And then I kind of was discovered, I would say, by my high school music choir director, where they kind of made me feel like I might have something special. Because for me, it was no big deal. It was normal because everyone in my life sang pretty good and played pretty well. And then I went to college, and it continued to be made evident to me that I might have something special. And that just kind of just went on bit by bit.
So you started seriously, I mean, kind of seriously in high school, but you knew that you wanted to go into music in college.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was taking voice lessons in high school, if I recall. I just kind of sang, and yeah, I got some really positive feedback when we would perform in the community or when I entered those high school little competitions that they do for the choral and ensemble contest, I believe it's called. Yeah, and then I was very open actually to studying economics or linguistics or Spanish. I had a great interest, and I still do, in foreign language. But when I applied to those schools, I found that I got the most positive feedback if I were a vocal major. And so that's how I believe that God sort of directed my paths into that development.
Yeah, when we start getting positive feedback, then we know we're in the right direction. So tell me about your inspiration. What inspires you? What makes you want to sing?
Well, I would say above all, joy. You know, sad bird has no song, which is a famous saying in the arts community. And sometimes artists are known for struggling with that. So you really need to have a sense of joy, find the things that bring you joy, find the things that make your heart soar. And so that kind of happens naturally to me. I love the sunshine today and the beautiful weather, and all sorts of things make me want to sing. So anything. My kids sing all the time. I have two adorable little daughters, and we love to sing improv songs together. That's got to be the cutest thing.
Well, yeah, tell us a little bit about you personally. What's your typical day look like, being a mom of two kids?
A typical day, I would say, is 18 hours. Yeah, that's a typical day. I don't stop usually. I sleep well. I sleep a lot, but then I am on full throttle, 100% all day long from morning until night. I love, love, love to dedicate myself to my work and to whatever I'm doing. I'm kind of intense person, I suppose. So when I'm at work, I'm very much into my students and giving them everything I've got. And when I'm performing and practicing, I'm giving it everything I've got, 100 to 1,000%. And when I come home, I walk through that door and I'm 100% mommy and entertainer and teacher and lover for my kids. Whatever they need, kissing boo-boos and teaching them life lessons and listening to them and encouraging them, and really enjoy that and until they go to bed. And then I try to stop at that point. So I would say it's pretty much about 6:30 to 8 nonstop.
Yeah. And so you have, you said you teach, and so you're teaching at the college level, I'm assuming voice.
Yes, yes. So I did take this assistant professor tenure track position at Liberty University right out of master school at Yale University. And so I've been in this position for 11 years now, and it's been really great. It's been really great. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to get you to share a little bit with us. I know that you and I talked a little bit about the creative process. And so to me, if I'm getting ready to sing something, someone hands me a piece of music. I do read music myself, and so I will sing the notes on a page.
Yeah.
It's not always how it works, though, with artists, I would not think.
Yeah, I have to say it's probably one of my favorite parts about getting to be a soloist. And my favorite part is collaborating with other musicians and really coming up with something new, something creative, something original. And I really enjoy working with my students too, and helping them to find their own voice. It's really easy to listen to other artists and, oh, they do this embellishment here, or they're famous for their breathy tone, or they're famous for their belty tone. And it's really important for all of these artists, including myself, to find out what fits you, though. For example, I have seen performances that are so subdued. They're just like so calm and subdued, and I love it. It's angelic and mesmerizing. And so there was a time where I tried to be that way too. But I have come to the conclusion that that is not my gifting. My gifting is more the exuberance part. And so I believe that each artist should highlight what they have to offer, what they sort of do best, what is kind of natural to them as well. So I usually go ahead and go for that. I'm going to be more of the very expressive, very passionate type of singer. Another example that I wanted to share with you is this jazz piece. Music will just come my way, you know. You either hear something on the radio, or you get the pleasure, as has been my experience, to be asked to perform a piece of music, and then bam, that's a new piece of music that's in my repertoire that I love to explore and make my own. And so this is a jazz piece. Many people don't know, but actually jazz and gospel are some of my favorite types of music. So this is a jazz piece that came my way, and I just think it's so beautiful. But on the page, you'll also find that it's very typically extremely simple. And so I want to show you what's on the page. Is it all right if I sing the whole song, Karen? Is that all right?
I don't know how long it is.
Is that all right? Okay. So it starts off pretty simple. Let's build a stairway to the stars and climb the stairway to the stars, with love beside us to fill the night with a song. We'll hear the sound of violins out yonder where the blue begins. The moon will guide us as we go drifting along. Can't we sail away on the lazy daisy, paddle over the rim of the hill? Can't we sail away on the little dream and settle high on the crest of a three? Let's build a stairway to the stars, a lovely stairway to the stars. It would be heaven to climb to heaven with you. Then you typically go into an instrumental version, and a super fancy pianist will get to show off a little bit more than me. Add a little something extra here. We'll hear the sound of violins out yonder where the blue begins. The moon will guide us as we go drifting along. Can't we sail away on the lazy daisy, looking over the rim of the hill? Can't we sail away on the little dream and settle high on the crest over three? Let's build a stairway to the stars, a lovely stairway to the stars. It would be heaven. It would be heaven. It would be heaven to climb to heaven with
was lovely. And you're getting some comments on the chat box also that are saying beautiful and applause.
I just want to
So
say one thing, like, so a lovely stairway to the stars, right? So we're talking about climbing to heaven. So that's where the inspiration comes from. So even on the page, it's just stairway to the stars. But if I want to give an image of a stairway to the stars, I'm going to do something that goes up, right? A lovely stairway to the stars. So that's what that came from. And then the It Would Be Heaven, I mean, that is the crux of the piece, right? So that's something that we want to bring out. So that's why I decided to do that 3 times, even though it's on the paper just once. So I did the It Would Be Heaven. Really? Would it? Oh yeah. It would be heaven. And then even more. It would be heaven. And none of that's on the paper, but it makes the conclusion so much more fun. To climb to heaven with you. And then these arpeggios. None of that's on the page. And that's a real cool insight into some of the things that we musicians do behind the scenes to make it special.
that is so nice to understand that it's not just the composer who'd written it originally, but you're, what do they say, making it your own. So I'm thinking about when you're teaching students, that's a hard thing to teach. Creativity is a hard thing to teach. Some people feel like it's just innate or you own it. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yes, that is a very interesting topic. I'm thankful that you brought that up. I do notice, and also for myself, when I went through college, it was kind of hard because when you're in college, it's a lot of do as I say, I'm the professor, do the homework we tell you to do. And that's so important. Of course, I'm not saying that's not important. I mean, those professors are smart. But we need to also balance that instruction with what do you think? And how can you make this phrase more interesting? And what can you do artistically to make this phrase or the composer's intentions come across in a stronger way? So that is something that I also intentionally do with my students. They come in, especially from a choral background, they're going to come in with the training of following. But in this environment, if you're the solo singer, it's really the accompaniment of the piano that needs to follow you. So we definitely work on that intentionally. Now, what can you do to show me how you're going to sing the next phrase? And that's part of an insight also into the relationship between a singer and the ensemble. The singer and the ensemble director, there's some unspoken communication. There's nonverbal communication. So for example, if the next phrase I'm going to sing quietly, right? You're going to prepare it like this. To climb to heaven with, so they know. But if you're going to sing something forte, they're going to be to climb, so that they're ready. And this is something that I really have enjoyed with the conductors that I've worked with and the pianists that I've worked with, the collaborative pianists. They're just awesome. And there's this standard of communication so that we can improv on the spot. So certainly there's going to be some things that maybe we'll come up with, kind of like that I showed you right now, that we would do that in rehearsal. But even in the real performance, I've worked with collaborators that prefer to kind of improv on the spot. And that sort of nonverbal communication between musicians is just essential to kind of work together to create something. But it's really thrilling. It's really thrilling to do it that way.
Well, I can tell you love it, and that's important. I mean, that comes across. And I'm going to ask you another couple questions about how you warm up. And you mentioned something to me about humming, and then there's some questions people are having in the chat box that we will get to in just a second. So show me just a warm up. I know you're an opera singer, but what you sang right now was just a totally different style, which is so cool that you're so versatile. So do me some operatic warm ups.
Absolutely. Yeah, warm-ups are crucial. I like to explain to people that at this point in the game, you're really talking about when you're talking about the extreme of a skill set. You know, it gets kind of to be quite serious. It's not really a hobby anymore. So I kind of specialize in being able to sing really high. And people often ask me, is singing natural? And and I hesitate to say sometimes, but I really don't think it's that natural at that extreme. It's not really natural to be singing as loud as you can, 2.5 octaves above your speaking voice, right? So if I'm speaking generally around here, this pitch or this pitch right here, and then I'm singing these notes, that's really not that natural. So it's important to recognize that you're training a specific skill, and you can't do that sitting around on the couch, just like any other skill, whether it's running or being in shape or dancing or gymnastics or tennis or whatever it is you do. Just like anything else. So it's definitely a skill, and it's a honed athletic event. It's a honed athletic craft. So for me, I have a couple of warm-ups that are kind of my default that just really make my voice feel good and keep it in shape. The most famous one would be what we call the lip trill or the lip buzz. And an extra thrill here because we have discovered a technological phenomena where the computer cannot capture how fast the lips are buzzing, so it creates a really freaky wave thing. So we do some lip trills like this. So like that. So that's called a lip trill. One of my other favorite exercises is this one here, where I make my voice do everything. I make it do staccato, legato, slow staccato, fast staccato, and fast legato. Yes. And I also make the voice do 2.5 octaves in 1 second. So it's actually pretty challenging, but hopefully if I'm doing it well, you'll say, wow, that looks really effortless and it sounds seamless. That's the objective. So here we go. Ready? And then I do that up throughout my entire range until we get to the very top of my range. So this is now super high.
Oh, well, we're going to go around the room and let everybody try that now. If we were in a convention center, we might all just try that. I love that.
It definitely takes skill and a lot of practice to be able to sing at those extremes, to make your voice do something at that extreme, you know, in such a casual environment, right? Where I'm just sitting at the piano and I'm playing, right? And that's what I've worked so hard to be able to do.
You are quite the performer. One of the questions someone is asking is, who is a famous female or male singer that you have as a personal favorite? Actually, it says opera singer as a personal favorite.
So many. Some of the famous ones that you would expect, like Diana Damrau. She is just an explosion of energy and intensity in everything that she does. I think that her Queen of the Night performance will possibly go down as the greatest of all time within centuries of competition. Renee Fleming obviously is a grace, the goddess of grace, I would say, on stage, the epitome of elegance and class and beauty in her musicality and her passionate artistry, and her vocal color is just, you know, incomparable. I am a huge fan of Lawrence Brownlee. He is a little bit less famous than perhaps tenors like Juan Diego Flores, who is also, amazing. He's so incredible. Most famous for his Rossini work, which specializes in a singer's ability to create that incredibly crisp, clean and fast coloratura, where they do the that sort of thing.
And you are bilingual, right?
I am.
This reminded me that I think you maybe speak Italian.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that helps you probably with some of these operas that you know some of the language.
It is a tremendous advantage. Of course, that was, again, not something that was handed to me, but something that I worked very hard for. So I'm trying to give that gift to my children and to have them be bilingual, which means they will speak better than me, for sure, because that's just the science behind the way the brain works, that those neurons, someone help me, I'm not quite the scientist. The brain is developing so quickly, and they're able to make some of those connections with language that you just cannot do after the age of 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm trying to give that gift to them, but I learned Italian, and yeah, that's tremendously helpful, because when you're memorizing a piece in a foreign language, it can very quickly turn into memorizing a meaningless string of syllables, right? Whereas since I know the language, I'm literally recalling a story or a poetic idea or a beautiful adjective that I already know. So definitely makes the expression of the language and the memorization of the language so much easier and really fun, really fun.
Well, here's a related question. Someone's wanting to know what opera character would be your dream role and why.
What a fun question. Oh my goodness. Oh, so many. I would say La Traviata is one of my favorite operas. So that would be wonderful to play her, because she gets to do it all. She gets to have the fun coloratura section in the beginning, and she gets to have these beautiful, just endless, beautiful duets and solos. Verdi's Traviata is just a stunning stream of music. And she also gets to have very dramatic death and sing the heart.
You could really schmaltz that one up, couldn't you?
Very simply, Manon by Massenet is also like my favorite music. I just love Bellini and Verdi and Massenet, which has more of that flowy quality. In fact, there is that one crazy laughing cadenza that's from Manon, and I'd love to share that for you.
Okay.
So even though I said, I should be able to sing this sitting down, I'd prefer to sing it standing up. So this is from Massenet's Manon, and this is the story of Manon, who is coming out, sorry, let me try that one more time, for the first time out of her little reserved cottage, and she's seeing the world for the very first time. And so she's extremely giddy and excited about the trees and the wind and people, and she sings this adorable little cadenza here where she's laughing, and she says "Je riais," which is I laugh.
Wow. That was amazing.
So that's really fun. It's really fun to sing that high.
Is it?
Laugh and it feels good. Yeah.
I blow my head off. So someone wants to know, where's the coolest place you've performed? I think the Met was pretty cool.
I would say the Met for sure. That was by far the coolest place I have ever gotten to perform. To be able to stand on that stage and to think about all of the legends that have set foot there before and who have, touched the hearts of so many and had them fall in love with this art form. And also, the Met is beautiful. So it was really cool to stand on that stage and to look at that view and I thought to myself, not a lot of people actually get this view. Most of the people get that, the view of the stage. And so it was quite spectacular. It was really fun to sing out to that beautiful space. Yeah.
Someone's wanting to know if we can make a request for an improvised song. I'm not sure I understand what that means. I don't know if you would like to interpret that. But
what, like just me coming up with something?
I don't know. We'll name that tune.
Well, I certainly would not be able to do that on the piano. I'm not that capable in the piano land, but I can sing you a children's song that I came up with for my child.
Okay.
Or a jazz operatic improv session. I could probably try that. as something I've been working on, actually.
Well, you think about that, and maybe we will we'll come back to that. And so I know I don't want to put you on the spot too much. I do want to ask you two questions since we're calling this Visions and Perspectives. I'm wondering what your vision is for artists in 2021, 22. What do you see as a vision? Artists have had a very tough past year. They haven't been able, particularly performing artists, have not been able to be on stage. And singing is one of those master germ spreaders, and that's so sad for those of us that love to sing. And so, what is your vision on coming in a couple years?
Also, I feel like singing is one of the more personally felt art forms as well, because it is central to us as humans. It's the one instrument that everyone has. It's the one instrument that's directly created by God, right? It's the one instrument that has been forever. So it especially connects humans. It's also the only instrument that can sing on words, and that makes it so beautiful and so special. My vision and perspective is that art comes out of a human condition. It always has, and it always will. And creativity comes out of confinement and restriction and suppression, and it always has thrived under those conditions. So even though we're in this temporary dip, I'm absolutely confident that it is fueling writers, composers, poets, painters, and that there will be a rebirth to reflect everything that we've gone through very soon that we'll get to enjoy. And I am thankful for the technology that allows us to do so much, that a lot of artists are still able to at least show their process, publish their work, self-publish their work, even though it may be difficult to reach audiences. And of course, we miss the thrill of live performance, and we miss the simultaneous sharing of a moment. That's what happens when you're in a live performance. When there's that beautiful moment, or that nice high note, or that breathtaking phrase, or that poignant verse, then the whole room of humans, we experience that all together at once, is a very beautiful thing that we miss out on. But I'm confident that we will see the rebirth, and we will see fruits of this suffering very soon.
That is fantastic. I love what you said about the simultaneous sharing of the moment. And so often that can happen in music, and you could hear a pin drop kind of thing where you know that everybody is on the same page when it came to that. I don't want to keep us or our audience the whole afternoon, although I am so delighted to speak with you. And I know that so many people are excited too. This technology we're able to use, thanks to Lifestyle and Lake Real Estate Group, has brought us a way to put us kind of in a production room, but we're streaming out to Facebook and YouTube, and it'll be there and recorded, and people can see it down the road. You can share it with your friends. This person who asked about your spontaneous kind of tune, and wondering if you could do something quickly, your children's song, they're going, it sounds great. So I don't know what you want to do, and then we will see what other questions the audience has. Go ahead, and people in the audience can start putting them up. And this improvised song, you can go ahead.
I forgot about the CD that I wanted to share, so I'm going to improvise my jazz song as I walk over and grab a CD for you. How about that?
Oh yeah, yes. Adelaide has a CD. In fact, I own it. I bought it at the Trinity show 2 years ago in 2018 when I met her. And you might like to download some of her music as well. So that's the one I have.
So this is the CD I'd love to share with you all. At this point, it's really not about platform or making money or anything like that. It's just about trying to share the joy of music. And the joy that this music has given me, the joy that it's given me to make the music. And, we artists, we just want to share that with you guys. So I have all of this music available for free on my website, www.adelaidetrombetta.com. And if you feel inclined to support your local artists, of course, that would be very welcomed. And we would be delighted if you wanted to take a listen and share that. And for the improv song, I love jazz, so we'll end it there.
There you go. Thank you for joining us. This is great. And I think this, I like this format. I like talking to people live. I like people sharing their art. And I'm with you, is that art can come out of whatever the human condition is. And I'm hoping that people are able to be creating right now. We will have this upsurge and things will be joyful in years to come. So Adelaide, let me look here and see if there's any other questions we haven't taken. And then if you have any parting comments, you can grab that CD off of AdelaideTrombetta.com. And I think there should be a way, I wish or hope that there's a way they could contribute to grabbing it and taking it.
Yeah, you just click purchase now and it will send me a notification that it's been purchased and I will ship you one.
Okay. So any closing thoughts from anybody? If not, go ahead, Margaret.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much. I mean, it was a beautiful experience, and I'm glad that you were able to share that in this format. And hopefully, it reaches a lot of people in this local community as well, and just keeps going.
That's right. That's what Smith Mountain Arts Council is about: bringing arts to our community. And with the pandemic, we've had to get rather creative in how we're doing that. And so this is our attempt to try to serve our publics, our membership. And so Visions and Perspectives will have another production April 14th with Leah Weiss. And so watch your Smith Mountain Arts Council Facebook page for those announcements. And Adelaide, if you want to sing us out with some sort of aria or whatever you have in your brain, I would be happy that we can end with that.
I do have another song that I really like. And thank you, Karen, so much for inviting me. This has been really fun. It's been certainly something I've missed, to get to feel like an artist at all and get to talk about what we do and get to share with the community. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
If he
you.